Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you present here, the Sri Narayan Dham, to our Thursday satsang in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those of you that's watching this live feed locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome those that's going to be watching this discourse on YouTube and in the various groups that is, it will be currently or subsequently posted. Our topic again is Vedanta is absolute, Vishishtadvaita, and Vishishtadvaita is absolute Vedanta. I have stated previously that Vishishtadvaita is not a specific philosophy. Vishishtadvaita is not a specific philosophy. It was coined, this terminology was coined by commentators subsequent to Lord Sri Ramanuj. Lord Sri Ramanuj re-established the teachings of Vedanta as it was presented by Vedavyas himself 5,000 years ago. So Vishishtadvaita, we use the term Vishishtadvaita to signify that which was re-established by Lord Sri Ramanuj 1,000 years ago. It is not a new philosophy. It merely differentiates the philosophy that was re-established by Lord Sri Ramanuj. At this point, there was a question that was put in last week on Sunday by this camera woman, and she wanted to know if the philosophy of Vedanta is absolute, then why is there need for the other two philosophies? And I asked her to research and supplement the commentary with the research, and I don't think it has been supplemented. So we're going to answer this question together with her. She's holding the camera again. And those of you that's present at the Sri Narayan Dham, because I'm discussing this philosophy for a while. What are the reasons for many philosophies? Who is the cause and initiator of various philosophies? And what purpose does all these philosophies serve in Sanatan Dharma? Is Sanatan Dharma in a state of confusion? Can a particular path be deciphered from the Vedas of Sanatan Dharma? And we're going to unpack these answers in this satsang itself by referring to previous discourses that was held by myself leading up to this question on Sunday. I showed through the Srimad Bhagavatam where Lord Sri Krishna himself states that he himself is the initiator of the various philosophies that exist, including those that conflict and contradict each other. So the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the initiator of the various philosophies, whether they run parallel with the teachings of Vedanta or whether they oppose the teachings of Vedanta or whether they form a segment of the teachings of Vedanta. An example would be Adi Shankaracharya and Lord Buddha. So Lord Buddha refuted the teachings of the Vedas. Lord Buddha refuted the teachings of the Vedas, notwithstanding the fact that he was Lord Sriman Narayan himself. Then Adi Shankaracharya postulated a transtheistic philosophy called monism. Monism means that you and God are one. Rishi, it means that you are God, Lord Narayan, and there is no difference between you and Lord Narayan. And if Rishi was Lord Narayan, he wouldn't be on this universe, because I explained earlier on, the various universes have various seas. There's an ocean of milk, Rishi, ocean of salt water, and ocean of, sorry, I can't hear. Alcohol. Is there an ocean of alcohol? Is there?
No.
Yes. So a lot of us wouldn't be in this planet Earth, isn't it? If we were Lord Narayan. Lord Shiva, incarnated as Adi Shankaracharya, and specifically spread the transtheistic philosophy of monism, notwithstanding that he is the foremost Vaishnavite devotee of Lord Sriman Narayan. There is no one higher. There is no Vaishnavite that is higher than Lord Shiva. There is no Vaishnavite that is higher than Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the highest ranking Vaishnavite. Vaishnavite means?
Followers of Vishnu.
Devotees of Lord Vishnu. Devotees of Lord Vishnu. You can't be a Vaishnavite and state that some other entity or incarnation is higher than Lord Vishnu. You cannot call yourself a Vaishnavite if you believe that there is an entity that is higher than Lord Vishnu. Do you understand? There are some that believe Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lord Vishnu emanates from him. Then you cannot call yourself a Vaishnavite. You have to call yourself a Krishnavite. You have to call yourself a Krishnavite. You can't call yourself a Vaishnavite because the definition of Vaishnavite is you're a devotee of Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the definition. Then if you say Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you have to, your philosophy have to change from Vaishnavism to Krishnavism. And there's no philosophy such as Krishnavism in the Vedas. You understand? I just want to clear this confusion or Confucianism that exists in the world today. Sita, do you understand? 100%. If you're a Vaishnavite, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Vishnu. Alright? All of you understanding? All of you, each and every one of you understand? So Lord Shiva is the highest ranking Vaishnavite. There is no one more superior than Lord Shiva in Vaishnavism. Yet he initiated a philosophy of monism where he said Rishi and Lord Narayan is one. Alright? Rishi, this is what Lord Shiva said. And I believe your wife is a Lord Shiva. Was a wife, is a Lord Shiva devotee. Alright? I think that is why she's a Lord Shiva devotee, because her husband is Lord Narayan. Okay? Can you see the contradiction and do you understand the uniqueness of Sanatan Dharma? Lord Narayan became Buddha, Lord Buddha, and kicked out the teachings of the Vedas. The greatest Vaishnavite incarnated and postulated a transtheistic philosophy called monism. Do we hate Lord Narayan for becoming Buddha and kicking out the Vedas? We cannot hate him. Do we hate Adi Shankar for incarnating and postulating a philosophy called monism, which is contradictory, as I'm going to teach you as we move? Can we? No. So, I want to state with absolute clarity that in our journey of re-establishing Vedanta, in the year 2019 and subsequent, those philosophies that we are refuting due to necessity. We are refuting because of necessity and we are not confronting, we are not demolishing, we are not fighting with those that exist in other philosophies, because the initiators of all opposing philosophies in Sanatan Dharma themselves are Vaishnavites. Themselves they are Vaishnavites. So every philosophy that was created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, so that humankind would get drifted apart and brought together again. Drifted apart and brought together again. Like, how many of you have seen a flowing river? Those of you that see your children, I don't think they know what river is. They're looking very... Those, if they do not know what river is, you'll find it on Google and zoom in and you'll see a lot of twigs and leaves put together, and then in the front is a huge rock, and when the current brings them to the rock, they separate. And sometimes they meet again and sometimes they never meet. So similarly, these opposing philosophies take you away from mainstream Vedanta for generations and generations and generations. And then when it is time to come back to Vedanta, other philosophers take the birth and bring you back to Vedanta. So our mission is to bring you back to Vedanta, and these other philosophers' mission were to take you away from Vedanta. Do you understand? There is no animosity. We cannot teach hatred and animosity. We cannot teach hatred and animosity, pride and prejudice. Although we are refuting philosophies that exist, we refute it with dignity. We refute it with dignity. Sita, how would you refute with dignity? What would you say? And who would you say it to? Sita won't say it to anyone. Sita? Dana? Who would you say it to? Dana? So we take an example from how it was refuted in the past. How it was refuted in the past. How did Lord Sri Ramanuj refute? These are the same philosophies that sprang up again. Alright? So we go back in the Guru Parampara and we find how Lord Sri Ramanuj refuted these philosophies. You think he fought, he travelled the length and breadth of India. Do you think he fought with anybody? Did he say, my Guru, Yamanuj Acharya, is better than your Guru? Because your Guru enforced a contradictory philosophy. How you think he handled it? Rishi? Lord Sri Ramanuj was a pure Vaishnavite. A Vaishnavite is as humble as a straw of grass. And when you refute, he would have refuted with absolute humility. How do you refute with humility?
Evidence.
Evidence. Where must you get this evidence?
From the scriptures.
From the scriptures. So how would you refute this? Camera woman?
You use the evidence from the scriptures to
Yes,
refute.
you'll sit down with somebody that is in a philosophy that contradicts the Vedas. You'll invite them to your flat and you'll tell them, come over, let's have a cup of tea and some
Biscuits.
samosas. You in Sanatan Dharma, you know, your mother must make some bhajia, puri, alright? And then you take a point from their philosophy and then you refute that philosophy if that point is not in context with the Vedas. If the point is not in context, then you sip your tea and she'll sip the tea. You have your samosa and she'll have her samosa. And as you show her that all the points are contradictory to the Vedas, you'll still be having your one samosa. She would have finished about 5 or 6 samosas, because now she needs the energy for following a false or contradictory philosophy. So make sure you make a lot of samosas. Rishi? Alright? Oh, wife makes samosa. And roti. Alright? So you feed your opponent, and with love you show your opponent that the view is wrong. And then you embrace them with the truth. All of you understand. So our exercise, which we started on the 6th and 7th of January last year, was to show the world that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full stop. And we have done that. Then to show that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to now deliver His teachings to the world. In order to deliver the teachings of Lord Sriman Narayan, all other teachings have to be refuted. Will it not? If there's any teaching that's in contradiction to the teaching of Lord Sriman Narayan's teaching, then we have to invite our opposition over a cup of tea, produce the evidence, and make them understand. And this is what Lord Sri Ramanuj did. He crossed the length and breadth of India, and he convinced through scriptural evidence opposing philosophies without causing any disturbance, in any part of India. And because of convincing people of the truth, is there any need for disturbance? So if all your life you thought 1 + 1 was equal to 1.5, because somebody taught you that 1 + 1 is equal to 1.5, and when somebody teaches you that 1 + 1 is equal to 2, is there any necessity to cause a disturbance? If that person can prove to you that 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Okay? So I'm saying this with all humility, I'm saying this with love, that our mission is to re-establish the message Lord Sriman Narayan spoke or had compiled in the Veda by his own incarnation for the benefit of all of mankind. You think there are any secrets in the Vedas? Anyone? Rahil? You think there are any secrets in the Vedas that shouldn't be known? The entire Vedas should be known to the entire mankind. Those that choose to follow the Vedas and those that choose not to follow the Vedas is a choice of the individual themselves. Are there any questions up until this time? Not by anyone? So the message for tonight's discourse will be that when we embarked on this journey of establishing Lord Sriman Narayan as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that mission entailed dishing out the Vedas as compiled by Lord Sriman Narayan in his incarnation as Vedavyas. And in doing so, we hope, and this is how it was done in the time of Lord Sri Ramanuj. So if he spoke to 200 people and he explained Vaishnavism after a grueling question and answer session, and when he convinced those that his teaching was absolute Vedanta, what do you think happened to the 200? Sorry? Yes, they became followers of Lord Sri Ramanuj and they followed the teachings of Lord Sri Ramanuj. It was a passive transformation of mindset from an alternate philosophy to the genuine philosophy. And we hope by running this these sessions that we may cause a ripple here and there, but we should not cause a storm, because it is not our intention to cause a storm. And wherein the ripple is formed, then we like you now to shift from whichever philosophy you are pursuing, as we provide you evidence, to the absolute philosophy of Lord Sriman Narayan. Are there any questions? Jai Sriman Narayan.
Jai Sriman Narayan.